I am down here clearing out shelves, bringing items up to my emporium to list on Niknax.net. But I also have to pick this item up because I sold it on eBay. Of course, what am I doing? The same thing I do almost every day. Well, not quite every day. I am listing up new items. I want to put these into live sales. Even these Christmas bears are going to make it into a sale. I grabbed this vintage kitchen item out of my death pile. And I'm still adding in items that I just got at the thrift store or at recent garage sales. I used to always just take the pictures and then list the item and then cross-post it. It used to take me so much time. Now I just take all the pictures and list the items up one after the other. It's so much quicker. Okay, my table is full. Let's go do the live sale. Hold up, I think I can squeeze a few more items in, like this recipe box, this vintage metal tray, and these restaurant-ware teacups. It is the third week of June, and we are experiencing a heat wave. High 90s, humidity, the whole 9 yards. It's been days on end. It rained really good right beforehand, and it's supposed to start raining later today, and I think for the next 2 or 3 days, so the heat wave will be broken. But I was so afraid that our electricity was going to go out, which means no AC, no anything, right? Well, our internet was going in and out. It's been intermittent for 2 days, and I wasn't sure if I could even have a live sale. I set one up anyways. I was like, you don't wait for the failure. You just go ahead, do everything like you think it's going to go and work out for you. And it did. And I was able to sell these 3 items on a live sale last night. And then I'll go get my Poshmark sale that I had this morning. You guys probably remember these. I just got these in Pennsylvania. And yes, they are Christmas items. As soon as I put them in the live sale, they sold right away. I've had this for a minute, but I didn't have it listed on Niknax.net. It was listed on eBay for a while, and no nibbles over there. I ran this for my barnyard sale. I didn't sell it then, but a lot of people were commenting on it. So then I brought it back and put it into a vintage variety show, and now it is going to its new home. And then this little item I got down in Ohio. This is one of these party light votive holders. I just love the stained glass look of it. Put a nice tea light in there or a votive in there. I paid up for this item, these 3 items, and that one in the back. So I still made profit. I just didn't make as much profit as I thought I would. I paid $3.99 for this one, a little over $4 for this one, and a little over $5 for these 3 items. In total, I paid $13.71. And you never know if it's going to get bid up or not. They didn't. They went for the prices that I had listed them at. And that's kind of your risk when you're doing an auction. You always want to list the item up for the least amount of money you're willing to accept. All in though, even though I paid $13.71, I sold these 3 items for $29. Over here in my closet, I already brought these out so I can show them to you. This is just a pair of khakis. They are size 8, limited. I got these at the bins. Oh my goodness, so long ago. I got 3 pairs of pants at the same time, and I've been slowly selling them off. This is the 3rd pair, so now they're all gone. And the bins is by the weight. So let me weigh these and tell you how much I paid for them and how much I sold them for. Okay, I took them off the hanger real quick and weighed them. I paid $1.04 and I sold them for an offer on Poshmark for $9. That is a low ball offer. I took it anyways because I think I've had these for over 5 years. I have sent out offers at all different price points. I have run sales on it. I was constantly changing the price on it. I did everything I could, and these are in super good condition. Size 8, nothing wrong with them. They were even pressed like that. Pressed, they have like, you know, somebody ironed them really good. There's crease marks in them, ready to go. You don't normally find clothes at the bins like that, but boy, did I have a hard time selling them. The other 2 pants were not just plain khaki, and that might be why it was such a hard sell. I think men's khaki items go faster than women's. I'm not going to go out and buy men's khakis though. I think the other pants, I think the one was like a gray color and the other was black. They were all size 8, probably donated by the same person. And those sold right away. I'm quickly adding 2 more items before I do another live sale. And this is what the table looks like. I ran a super late night live on Niknax.net, but before I could even run my show, somebody bought these items out of the Buy It Now. When I had run my barnyard farmhouse theme live sale, I had these 2 metal cars in there. They didn't sell then, so I put them into the Buy It Now and somebody bought them that way. Let me go get the rest of the items and we'll talk about them all together. A quick story on these metal trucks here. They are Tootsie Toys is what it says underneath. So I got these in a grab bag in a Goodwill down in Maryland. I was with my nephew, Daniel, from Daniel's Deal Den, and we went to that particular Goodwill because Crazy Lamp Lady, who also owns Niknax.net, also shops there. Occasionally, she shops all over the place. She is always traveling and shopping all over. I wasn't expecting to run into her, but what was ironic was, you know, I always watch her videos and they have all these grab bags on the wall. And I was like, oh, let me go over and look. And I'm looking and I saw a grab bag and I think it was the same one. In fact, I know it was the same one that she had looked at but didn't buy. But I thought, hey, I'll take a chance on it. And I have sold a few items on different platforms and a few items on Niknax from that particular grab bag. So it's kind of funny. And I also bought other items that she had in her video that she didn't buy that I also bought because I recognized them. And I also sold those on Niknax.net. Now, I didn't talk about that in previous videos. And so I think it's so funny that things that she passed up, I bought, I'm flipping, you know, on her platform. But anyways, I digress. So I sold so many items so far out of that particular grab bag that I have no cost into these little toy trucks. I debated about even putting those up on the platform. I don't normally sell toys, but lately I have been. I just got this. You would have seen this recently. It's a little hinged trinket box. I knew that would sell right away. Butterflies and birds. And then I sold this little guy. I got him at the bins. I have no cost into him either because when I went down to Ohio with my friend Sherry from Sherry's Fab Finds, I found a bunch of pig items and this little dog and a bunch of other items. I have sold so many items, I have no more cost into my items from the bins down there. So the only two things I really bought or paid any money for was the trinket box. I paid $7.99 for that. I did pay up for that, but it was just so gorgeous. And I paid 99 cents for that. Now, I have had this listed up for a long time on eBay. My eBay store is virtually dead. I did downgrade it. I sold so many items on Niknax that I downgraded my store, and I haven't been listing that much to eBay. But I have certain things that I do want to list on there, and now I don't have enough listings to list those items. And so now I'm going to change course, and I'm going to upgrade my store so that I have access to more listings, and then I'm going to have to list like a mad woman on there to get those items listed on there, and I'm just going to have to maintain it. I just didn't like paying the fee because it's so high, plus you have to promote your items, plus you have seller fees. It's just so much more expensive to sell your items on eBay, but I still need it. I still need it as a part-time reseller. My total cost for these 4 items is $8.98, and I sold them for $34. In fact, I was just looking at my stats, my selling stats on Niknax compared to eBay, and I'm selling 10 times the dollar amount on Niknax than I am on eBay. And you might be like, well, that's because you're not doing much with eBay. I have hundreds of items listed on eBay. Some of them have been listed up for years. They get no views. They're not selling. I run sales on there. I send offers on top of the sales. I have where people can send me offers. I just don't know what's going on. But you do get punished by eBay, by the algorithm, if you're not constantly listing over there. And that's not the same when you come to these other platforms. I don't get punished for not listing on Niknax. I am down here clearing out shelves, bringing items up to my emporium to list on Niknax.net. But I also have to pick this item up because I sold it on eBay. When I saw this in the bins, being that it was new in package, it still has the original price tag on it of $16.99, I was like, wow, that isn't easy in the cart. It is a director chair, seat and back cover for either the short chairs or the tall ones. It doesn't matter because it's just the coverings. They made these in lots of different colors. This happens to be the green one, which I think is the most popular one. At the bins, you know, they charge you by the pounds, the weight. This is not even a pound. I probably paid somewhere between like $1.50, $1.75 for it roughly. And I sold it for $18.70 plus shipping. I like that it has the instructions right on the bag, and it was made in the USA. I listed up 17 little miniature items because I want to run a mini show. I moved all of those newly listed minis over here on top of my desk. I'm going to do my live sale from here instead of on my table. And I gathered up all my other small items, miniatures, anything that was kind of little. It all fits the category. And I finished up around 3 p.m. and I scheduled my show for 4 p.m. and it's currently around 3:30-ish. And I already have pre-bids on items, so I am getting excited for the show. Aren't these just adorable? I had pre-bids on the 2 owl figurines, so I ran those right away. And then somebody asked me about these, and I ran these, and these are the 3 items that sold. I sold these as a pair in the first show that I did at 4 p.m. I then put the rest of my show together, added some new items to it. I picked out a lot more items, and then I ran it again at 11 p.m. So let me gather up all of those items and we'll talk about them all together. At 11 p.m., I called it my mini and smalls show. But as you can see, I sold something that's not so small. I always have items in the background because I don't want this the plain wall in the background. So I had tiles. I had this chicken wall hang, although I think it's a rooster. I think it's a rooster. I was calling it just a chicken, which is still correct. But anyways, someone bought that and I sold 5 other items, so a total of 6 at that show, plus the 3 I'd sold before. So I'm pretty happy with how the 2 shows went. This little mouse I've had for a long time because once I found him, I kept him in my own decor for a long time. I used to always put him out at Christmas time, and then I just started leaving him out sitting up on top of my piano for a while. And then I decided, you know what? He's a mini. It's time for him to go. And of course, someone bought him. Excited to see him go to his new home. I got this in an ornament bag. Box is one of those, you buy the mystery box and then you hope that there's good items inside of it. That is a 1994 CVS mouse ornament. Look at the ears on that. Isn't that funny? I got this at the bins. That was a garage sale. And then these 2 items right here, these and that, I got down when I was in Ohio. My friend Sherry and I met up with Carol from My Blessed Nest, and we made sure to hit up the antique mall where her booth is. And I actually bought a bunch of items from her booth and from other booth owners. I had a good time at that particular antique mall. I would have loved to spend way more time or hit it up multiple times. So of course I got to make another trip down to Ohio at some point. But I did buy these and this from Carol's booth. And then ironically, my friend Sherry bought this from me during my live sale. I always laugh. We're always doing stuff like that. I've done it with my other reseller friends, and where we're buying from each other, giving as gifts, or it's for our own use, whatever. So resellers are always supporting resellers for sure, for lots of reasons. And in the case of Carol made some money and then I made some money, that's just the way it works. And I just love that. We just have a really good community and everybody can make a little bit of profit on their items and they're all going to new homes. So total of 9 items sold in the 2 shows. My cost of goods on all of the items was $11.15, and I sold them for $51. Carol's booth is located at the Majestic Turnaround. I suggest visiting there. That is a really fun place, and make sure you give yourself enough time to go through it. I definitely want to go back and visit that particular antique mall. And then the owls in the middle here, you would have seen in a garage sale haul. I got these along with a bunch of other crystal figurines.